everyone, and welcome back to Black Knight Gaming. We're here today with another priority mission, the return to Smithon, and it's a 3-skull drop on a desert biome, so I'm quite excited. And we have replaced our trusty Thunderbolt with a Zeus, trading the heavy mech for an assault mech with a little bit more armor, although not all that much. And we've scavenged our large laser and snub PPC from that Thunderbolt. It's not the most heavily armed mech in our arsenal. The Annihilator takes that by far, but it should serve us pretty well. So with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right in.
Good luck, Commander. The Taurians aren't going to make this easy. Protect our ships. Help them get our people home safe.
Alright, so we've deployed, and our enemy is taking the first couple movements here. It looks like there's a couple Jenners and an Enforcer and a Thunderbolt coming up a little bit later on, and our task is relatively simple: destroy all hostiles. There will eventually be 10, and I'm not confident they'll all come from this one direction, so we have to be a little bit careful, and we must protect, well, 3 different dropships, as well as these fuel tanks here. So we have a multifaceted job, and it will not be the easiest thing we've ever done. So with that in mind, I think we should go ahead and reserve. Let's let them come to us as much as possible, and also let some of our more lightly armed and armored allies strip off evasion pips from things like this Jenner here, which right now has enough evasion to make most of our fire largely useless. And that is kind of something that is a little bit curious. That Thunderbolt, I didn't think it moved enough to merit that many evasion pips, but I guess I was mistaken, and it looks like, okay, so it's a Jenner, an Enforcer, a Battlemaster, and a Thunderbolt all coming in, and we have this Jenner here up front. So I think what we might do, if we were to fire right now, our odds to hit are not great, but if we can come in with a punch, we have a 95% chance to land that 110 sweet melee damage. So we will be coming in with that, and we do destroy the CT on that first Jenner. So this is Kamea coming in, kind of reasserting what our mission is here, is just put as much pressure as we can on these approaching mechs for as long as possible, and that is quite a start. So one move, one punch, one dead mech, that works for me. So our next target will probably be either the Thunderbolt or the Battlemaster if we have the range to hit it, because they do lack a little bit of evasion, and right now we're not able to hit anything. We don't have vision, so our first task is actually going to be sprinting up at full clip, which will protect our own mechs some as well. Right now, as it stands, our Zeus is a little bit exposed by having not enough evasion pips to really, well, diminish the enemy's chance of hitting him. I suppose we could have attacked from this left-hand side, but we really can't argue with the results too much. So I think we will be bringing up the Marauder. Well, I don't want him in the line of fire. We will have to maintain a bit of a distance to fully use that nice Gauss rifle. But for right now, let's just go ahead and move up to this side, and let's see what our allied turrets can do. We should have at least the Marauder moving before this Thunderbolt in the next round, and that should be quite nice. So, okay, looks like there's the first dropship coming down. Okay. Alright, so we have a couple light spiders coming in on that right-hand side, and we'll probably see much the same thing over here on the left in not too long. And now we have a bit of a problem. We have to split our fire, and frankly, that's a lot of mechs coming in, so it's not going to be the easiest task ever. I think we might, well, let's see. Where can we get a shot? So we can't really get a shot anywhere just quite yet. I almost want to see about, well, I don't think we can climb that slope where I would want to contest this upper landing. The Thunderbolt is yet to move, and the Spider here already has. You know what, let's go ahead and reserve one more time, let that Thunderbolt move, see what it's going to do, and we might go in for another punch on that Jenner with our Zeus. If he has the range, he might not. Oh wow, okay. So that Thunderbolt pilot just absolutely dashing up toward what must be his programmed-in objective of those fuel tanks, and the Battlemaster and the Enforcer both taking very nice positions on that high ground. So this is a little bit stressful, I will admit. So let's see what we can reach. So we can't reach the Jenner with the Zeus, we could reach the Thunderbolt, and if we were to just open fire, our accuracy is still just horrendous. So let's see if the Highlander would do any better. Okay, so the Highlander could come in here and punch the Jenner. Not really making the best use of those nice Gauss rifles of his, but again, our accuracy is just abysmal. So I think we will come in and take that punch on the Jenner with the Highlander. Let's see if that can get us anywhere. Looks like we aren't able to destroy that mech this time, just taking out a leg as that Jenner falls. But, you know, that stripped its evasion, and now it looks like we'll even have some help finishing off that mech from these Shredder turrets here. So now the question is, how do we deal with that Thunderbolt? So if I was to come up this way, we could get potentially a decent rear angle shot. Let's see, so if I come up right behind him, I can't shoot. But that should be a rear arc, or at least a partial rear arc, with Archangel and the Annihilator, and I'm a little bit concerned about our ability to get over there to the those two mechs. I think what we might want to do is, well, let's let another turret go, see if they can finish off the Jenner. Let's just go ahead and sprint the Zeus over around this way, get vision on those two flanking light mechs, and I think part of the challenge here will be figuring out how long we can delay taking out these larger mechs while we accomplish our objectives by making sure that the flanking mechs are offline. And I really am kind of struggling with the sheer amount of evasion on many of these mechs. So now we do have... oh, that's a horrible shot. We have a 10% chance to hit if we come in with the Marauder, which is just not acceptable. And I think what we'll do instead is we will go in for a rear angle shot here on the Thunderbolt, and we will do a precision strike. Decent chances to hit and lots of firepower, and I think we'll go, well, we could go for the leg. That would give us a better shot. We could very easily try to leg this mech. There is some SRM ammo in this right torso. 17% chance to hit the head. Well, but if we miss and it scatters, I don't really want that. Let's go for the leg. That damage, if we do extra, will rip its way forward and up, and we are able to take out that right leg. So the Thunderbolt, with all of that just ridiculous evasion for a mech that size, is knocked down. And now we have two enemy mechs on the ground there, taking pot shots from these turrets. So our choice now is, do we shoot at the Jenner, which is a much more lightly armored target, also moving on initiative 3, mind you, or do we shoot at the Thunderbolt? And it looks like I can't quite... well, okay, so if I move here, we're inside the minimum range for that Gauss rifle, which is a big problem. I'm not really comfortable taking that shot, but it's true as well for the Thunderbolt, which is a little bit infuriating. Unless we come up this side, it would be potentially exposing our rear if these mechs continue to flank, which they probably will. And actually that gets a shot on both. So I think what we should do is we could go ahead and come around this way, and if we look at the three sight pictures we have, the Thunderbolt, good chance to knock off that leg, but let's see. So it's 145 and 75. We don't have the firepower. Well, actually we might. It would be close. It would require large amounts of accuracy and, well, just not very much scattering from those PPCs to rip off that leg, which would be quite hard. Or we could fire in at this Jenner, go for the other leg, and I think we would be able to take that mech out. So I don't even think we need to fire the Gauss rifle. I may come to regret this, but we only have 8 shots, and I'd rather save that since we still have 9 hostile mechs remaining. So let's go ahead and fire into that Jenner, and that's more than enough to core out that mech. So we've destroyed 2 hostiles, admittedly both Jenners, and they're kind of crap mechs to begin with, at least compared to the rest of what's on the field. The Thunderbolt, Battlemaster up there from the enemy as well. And this mission has a lot of moving parts. It looks like we are struggling a little bit with the CPU, so please just bear with me here. 2 more flanking mechs. Okay, so it is what I suspected. Right when we least want to, we will have to split our forces a little bit more. And these 3 mechs up here, and Thunderbolt. Okay, so we didn't really have a chance to keep these mechs engaged yet. Is kind of what's irritating. We've brought heavy enough mechs that it's going to be quite difficult to intercept when those light mechs don't have tons of evasion. So if we fired right now, it wouldn't really even accomplish very much. So we'll have to bring the Zeus around, and that commando now doesn't have very much evasion. So what we can do is now we can go in with the Zeus, we can maybe fire in long range with the Marauder, which does have a very exposed rear. Oof. Okay, so if we come up this way, our rear arc is still exposed to that Enforcer, but okay, and we don't have enough, we're not within range with the snub, so we're not within range there either. Man, that is very, very not good. So it's tempting to almost start moving the Marauder over this way to try put fire on those other smaller mechs on that side. We might have to just pick one, and I think we'll have to pick this one to save. But for right now, it might be our best option to just put fire on this Thunderbolt. So we'll come down here. We could precision strike, but this should already be an aimed shot, and the only accuracy that would improve is the Gauss rifle. So let's go ahead, take that 31% chance to hit the head, and hope we go in for it. We miss with the Gauss rifle. We have scattering from those snub PPCs, and it's just not enough to take that Thunderbolt out. So SRM explosion, another pilot injury. That mech is on its last legs, but it's not quite enough to finish it. That might be, and not quite. So that Thunderbolt will stand up. The AI does tend to pick up mechs first when it has the option, and taking a shot at the Striker, which is fine with me. Let's see, so now we can come across with the Zeus and put some good fire on these two mechs here. And the nice thing is they are light. Now our Zeus doesn't have the most firepower, but what it does bring to bear should be able to do quite a bit of damage. So if we look at this commando, there's a medium laser, a large laser, and an SRM2, or two medium lasers on the Spider. So it looks like the commando, although it has more armor, is a bit tougher target, if you could call it that. For a light mech, that large laser does quite a bit more damage than anything that the Spider is packing. So he will take our first shot, and just to make sure that we can do as much damage to this mech as we possibly can, we will be coming in with a precision strike, going for that left torso, trying to rip off at least the medium laser, and if we can, explode that SRM2 ammunition as well. So we land the large laser, we land most of the snub, actually get ourselves a nice little bit of a pilot hit as well, and that commando is much worse for wear. So even if we can just keep this reservoir alive a little bit longer by taking out some of their weaponry, that's fine. We can deal with them once this thing takes off, and I'm not entirely sure. Oh, it looks like we have two more rounds where we need to keep this thing alive. So we should be able to do that without too much trouble. The question now is, what do we do next? So we can come in with the Highlander, and we're starting to get, well, still just horrible shots on all of these mechs. Even the Battlemaster with only 3 evasion pips is staying, well, quite elusive here. And I think it might be a better idea to see if we can finish off this Thunderbolt. So we'll take the Annihilator around, and we've already damaged, blown off that right torso, and we should be able to just chew our way through the back of this mech from close range. So I would be really surprised if he survives, and that mech is down. So 3 down, 1 injured, and we're kind of on our way to protecting that dropship, which is not really a dropship. Well, dropship versus jump ship, it's a little bit ambiguous. This is a Leopard. I don't know, but let's see. We don't have a great shot on anyone here, but we could have a shot. Okay, so this is dangerous. It's dangerous from a risk of explosion from that fuel reservoir, so we can actually walk through it without getting squashed by a dropship or something like that. Let's see where the safest place to take that shot is. I don't want the rear arc to be a prime target for these mechs, but I'm kind of struggling with the way to have it not be, right? So let's come up this way. Let's see if we can finish off this commando here. Twin Gauss rifle shots should be more than enough to take this mech out, and I think we will turn off the SRM6 because I don't want to build any heat quite yet, and let's see what this can do, and that's more than enough. So that one mech is out. There's just the Spider, and our Victor should be more than a match for that Spider, and more than able to keep that dropship alive. And what we might do now, we get paid extra. So we get paid extra if all 3 dropships escape. But we don't really need that extra pay, we just have to have 2 of them escape. So if we can keep this right-hand side alive... Yeah, so I like that. If we can keep that right-hand side, Shepherd 1, alive, and then fold around, keeping our mechs relatively safe through the center here, and focus on things like the Battlemaster, Enforcer, kind of sacrifice this second position in order to keep our own lance alive, and well, preserve these other two dropships as well. It's less than ideal, but I don't think we have the firepower, and more importantly, the mobility with that firepower. I don't think we have the mobility that we would need to really keep everything alive here. Well, it's the Jenner. I mean, these things are paper thin, but the Jenner and the Panther are more heavily armored than the Spider, and let's do some quick math here. So 4 are down, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So it doesn't look like there will be any more reinforcements coming in for this third dropship. So I think that is just the best decision we could make at the moment. Something's moving on Initiative 1. What is that? I don't see anything now. Maybe there's one more? Is there an assault mech that I am just overlooking? Or is that Battlemaster? That Battlemaster might be moving on 1, but it says it already has. That's a little confusing. Anyway, let's move back a little bit, or we could move... So if we do get a shot here on these two mechs, let's see what that looks like. Yeah, not enough accuracy to really confidently take those mechs out. I think the better plan is come in shooting at this Enforcer, and we can, so the Marauder is meant for head hits. It has an additional bonus, and now Medusa has Called Shot Mastery, which is why we did the last episode as a couple non-campaign missions. So we have a 35% chance to hit the head, and if that Gauss rifle lands it, like it just did, that's a mech kill right there, regardless of weight class. The weight class of that mech just does not matter if it takes a Gauss rifle shell to the head. Some damage coming in on our Annihilator, which is not great, but we are able to shrug it off decently well. Let's see what we can do. So Highlander might not actually be needed over here anymore. We can bring the Zeus up, and he should be more than a match for the Spider. So let's bring him up. Let's take a shot here. No need to really do anything aimed. We are building a bit of heat, but it should be fine. And this should make sure that Leopard 1 is more than safe. So that Spider falls, gets a knockdown. Next turn we'll finish him off with the Zeus. And this way we can turn our Highlander back around. Yeah, so we can bring our Highlander back around, firing in at the Battlemaster maybe. We don't have a shot on the Firestarter, but we have a wonderful shot here on this Battlemaster. So I think we will take it. We might even... That's a bit greedy. Let's wait for the Annihilator for that called shot. We do have 90% accuracy with these two Gauss rifles. That should be more than enough to put a beating on this mech. So we land 1, we land 2, different locations, which is unfortunate. But lots of damage coming in on that Battlemaster, and sensors impaired, so it'll be even worse at shooting next round. We land some light damage from one of the turrets, and now we have the Annihilator. So if we come in and we look at this Battlemaster, that CT is almost gone. So we have a couple of choices. We can shoot in again. We don't really have... So the Ultra AC-5s, well, you know, we might be able to save all 3. So if we come in with the Panther and we take a shot... of that Panther with the Caldwell Precision Strike. Let's see what that looks like. So move up here for now, and if we do a Precision Strike on that Panther, 70, 70, 95, 95, I think we should be able to core this mech out. And with just the Jenner, that Leopard might actually survive the 2 rounds that it needs. So great fire coming in. That Panther is down. This is why I love the Annihilator so much. Just doing so much damage with those autocannons. And now we roll around the turn, right? And we've already taken out 6 mechs. So I'll admit, Shepherd 1's away. I was a little bit skeptical when I saw at first that this mission has 10 enemy mechs, that it really was 3 skulls like it said, just because that's a lot of opposition, especially when they all started to funnel down the front at once. But because they're firing in at side objectives, and because they're so light, it really wasn't that much of an issue. So let's see, the Spider's standing up. don't really care about that anymore. Firing in at the Shredder turret. Yeah, so our Victor will just... no, not our Victor, our Zeus, rather. I've been calling him a Victor the whole time. Oh, that's awkward. I do like the Victor quite a bit. But yeah, that's our Zeus, not our Victor. And we should be able to take that mech out without any trouble. Let's see if we can take a shot on this Jenner. So, not a great shot, but the Jenner is overheated. Let's just come in and see if we can head cap the Battlemaster, although it might be a better idea to aim for that CT. We could punch right through it. I think we have more than enough damage coming in here, and let's just go right for the CT here. We miss we miss the Gauss rifle, but we do open up the CT, and that mech is not long for this world. So some SRM ammunition coming in, and that knockdown has guaranteed that the Battlemaster will move first for the AI on Initiative 1. So they should stand him up right now. And they do. So let's see what he decides to shoot at here. Some light damage scattering on the Annihilator, only opening up with medium lasers. That's a little surprising, because most of that armament is still good. And 26, yeah, so if we had landed the Gauss rifle, that mech would be dead right now. But alas, we didn't, and Glitch may not even move. Well, yeah, let's go in for a melee on the Spider. If it lands, regardless of where it lands, that mech is dead, and that Spider drops. So, we have 7 hostiles down, we have 1 dropship away, 1 more only needs 1 more round, and we have only 29 health remaining on that fuel reservoir, so that does need protecting right now. So let's come in with the Annihilator, see if we can land a precision strike on that Jenner. We're running a little hot, not quite in the red zone, but we'll have to turn off some of these guns to stay under it next turn, and let's just go right for the CT. More than enough damage, and we might be able to save this other dropship with that kill. Some light fire coming in with the Battlemaster, and he's next on our kill list. He's definitely next on our kill list, so if we have the Highlander, we can come up this way and just load lots of fire into this Battlemaster. It might even be a little bit excessive, but you know, that's the glory of games like this. So we open up, and both... oh wow, that was some scattering. But you know, that mech goes down, so it works, right? We might have even gotten a pilot kill there, and we have the 1 fire starter that's just been kind of standing around now left. And Shepherd 3 has arrived. We might actually kill all of the approaching hostiles before the Shepherds have a chance to leave, so you know. At times we do feel proud of our Lance here, and we do lose a friendly vehicle, but you know, can't keep everything all the time, so well, let's move, I guess, for the evasion. It does build a little bit of heat, so it's not ideal. Let's move for the evasion, and why not? Let's see if we can just head cap this fire starter and call it a day. Structure exposed, head hit, but it looks like it was from the snub-nose PPC. And much as I like those snubs, I might have to take them off the Marauder. It looks like they're making my job of head capping slightly harder than it would be with just regular PPCs or something like a large laser coming in for that damage. So we'll take the Highlander now and open up. It's just so much fun to see these Gauss rifles shoot. And that's just, yeah, that fire starter is down. So we've killed all of the enemy mechs. And I'm not quite sure what to do now, so let's just move. Okay, Shepherd 3, last of the refugees. We might just have to wait around, so let's just brace, and brace. Maybe we should have brought the Zeus in, but Shepherd 3 is away, all of the enemy mechs are down, and that might be the mission, unless there's a plot twist I don't know about. Let's see what's in store. Okay, that's the last of them, and we'll be right back here with the mission reward screen. Alright, so here we are, and because we got the optional objectives, we are coming in here with a 2 million C-bill payday. Maybe time to look through another one of those black market goodie bags again. Losing a little bit more reputation with the Taurian Concordat, but you know, they're the well, they're allied with the bad guys in this campaign, so what can you do? And no significant damage on our lance. We had enough distracting targets that it doesn't seem like we took any damage there. And let's see, we have one Battlemaster part, which is pretty great. We've actually picked up a fair number of scattered parts here the last couple missions, some heavier mechs that we have felled, and just, I've gotten kind of lucky with the scavenge for it. I think I want this rangefinder though. Plus 50 meter view distance, quite helpful for getting those long shots with things like Gauss rifles. Nothing else really that stands out in terms of weaponry, so let's go ahead and take the Battlemaster part. We'll get the third, I guess, Thunderbolt part again, and let's just grab a Panther, why not? So that'll be it, and we'll be right back here with another mission. Alright, so we're back with a second mission here on Smithon, a 3.5 skull battle on a polar biome. Should allow some of our hotter mechs like the Annihilator and the Zeus to run a bit cool and really take full advantage of their firepower. And we're doing this for as much cash as we can manage, and also because, in between every priority mission there is a little bit of downtime where you have to kind of seek out contracts on your own, so that's what we're doing. And we should be able to continue the campaign, it looks like, with a battle at Itram not too long from now. So with all that said, let's go ahead and jump right in. Alright, so we've dropped in, and Darius has warned us that we have some unusual readings coming up, so we should potentially expect a trap, and that does usually mean that there is going to be an ambush that Darius will be kind enough to predict a couple seconds after it happens. So let's just move forward and see what these conveniently placed, I must say, Directorate units have in store for us. So there's an archer, well within the minimum range that it would like. There's an 85 tonner over here, so we've moved a little bit too far to the right to really handle that well. I mean, the Annihilator could probably go toe-to-toe with a stock 85 tonner, but I don't really see any reason to force him to do that. So we will move the Highlander back over this way, and the Marauder and the Zeus can just move up, prepare to take out this archer. I still am, by the way, looking for a Cyclops Z for the initiative bonus. In terms of specking out pilots, taking that initiative bonus is usually a really strong way to get up the lance, and as much as I don't really use it that often, I wanted to deviate from that so I could get things like sensor lock, so I could get pilots who have sure footing, ace pilot. I mean, granted, I don't actually use it on anything this heavy, so it might have been a bit of a mistake. But it's the choice that I made, so can't really do anything about it now. Let's go ahead and move the Marauder up. Now we have vision. There's a Battlemaster, there's an archer, there's another archer, so the 2S is, I guess, the, more short-range version, and the 2R has, the LRM 40 armament on there, so neither one of those would be fun, taking all of that firepower to the face at once. So let's go ahead and shoot at the one that hasn't moved yet, as is my fashion, and because this is the Marauder, we will go in for a precision strike, although, are we only within range? Okay, that's what I thought. So precision strike on the archer. Let's see if we can go ahead and head cap this mech, and we don't quite land it with the Gauss rifle, getting a little bit of a scattered injury there with the snub-nosed PPC, and the Battlemaster kind of returning the favor here against our Marauder. So this is interesting. I had thought maybe it would be split 2 and 2, but it looks like the 85 tonner is alone here up on that side. So let's go ahead and move the Zeus, take a second shot at that archer before it has a chance to go. Won't do the most damage because the Zeus, again, is not quite as heavily armed as some of our other mechs, and it does unfortunately look like most of that damage scattered around. That's where the Gauss rifle landed. You can tell from the 3 damage that penetrated through to the internals, and let's just see if we can take any of this guy's weapons off the board. Not quite able to do that, but landing more sensor impaired debuffs will mean that those missiles have a harder time finding their target, and our Annihilator taking some light fire from the Battlemaster. I wonder if it would be... Okay, so we've positioned our Highlander in a place where he can't even shoot, which is not exactly what I had intended. Let's go ahead and sprint up into these trees, and next turn that Highlander will have his guns brought online. I guess we should have moved with the Annihilator first, open fire on the archer, but the Annihilator is meant to take a pounding. It has some of the heaviest armor in our entire lance, which is only allowed through use of those very high quality Ultra ACs. because the stock armament for AC-10s leaves it with so much weight that it can't really field anything else. But the Ultra AC-5s are lighter, and most of these guns have, well, things like -2 tons, -3 tons, which is why we can field so much armor in such a heavily armed mech. So we'll come in, just try and concentrate fire on that archer, and we do rip off a right torso and a right arm, so that should be a lot of that mech's armament off the board. And the 2R has one of the pilots with the skill I was talking about, letting you move a little bit quicker. That's why that mech is coming in at initiative 3, and I think we might need to start retreating our Marauder a little bit, taking some fire, more than I'd like, on that left torso. I think it wouldn't destroy the Lance Command mod, we just have to repair it, because it is equipment that's unique to the Marauder, it's not viable. But I think what we want to do for right now, just move the Marauder over. I'm unhappy with the ability, well, the chance of hitting this mech's head, so let's go ahead and just fire in, see if we can get lucky and core this thing out. And we do a lot of damage, but not quite enough to core that mech out. So now it can go, and coming in with only some of its armament, still able to scatter a fair amount of damage along this Annihilator, but now we have a chance to move first before the Battlemaster, well, I guess either Battlemaster has a chance to go. So we can move with the Zeus, the Annihilator, or the Highlander. Highlander only has a shot on this Archer, which is good, we'll take it. But I think first we'll want to maybe move the Annihilator back this way. Let's see. A little bit long range for the AC-10s, or that's just recoil. So yeah, that's just recoil. Let's move here and fire in. Precision strike, because why not? On that Battlemaster, 18% chance to hit the head, and wonderful accuracy all around. And we do take that Battlemaster out of commission in one go. Probably one of the AC-10 shells landing, because the Battlemaster did have full armor. I'm not really sure if one of the AC-5 rounds would do it undamaged, so all in one go. But, you know, that's one mech down. So far we don't have an ambush like I had feared. But let's see how that develops, and the Highlander able to now come in with 2 Gauss rifle shots at that Archer 2R. So the orange there, not because we actually ripped through the armor, but just each one of those Gauss rifle shots does go through to the internals. It looks like we actually missed. Oh, no. Okay, so one landed on the CT, and one landed on that left torso. So now we can move the Zeus around, and I think we'll go up, yeah, we'll go up this way. The idea being to get a shot as much as we can on the CT rather than the healthy side of this Archer 2S, and with only 13 structure left, I'm hoping that the scatter damage from that SRM and from the snub PPC will be able to do it, and that mech goes down, well, like a ton of bricks. So the Archer now coming in, firing into the Zeus, and because we don't have that second Archer up now, their Battlemaster will go before our assault mechs on initiative 1, even if we take a precision strike. But let's see what we can do. So we can still fire in because it hasn't fired yet, or we could go in at this Archer, which is firing, you know, 40 LRMs every single turn, and I think that is what we'll do. The Battlemaster hasn't really shown its teeth yet, and I think its positioning is awkward enough that it may not. But right as I say that, so a couple medium lasers coming into the Zeus, not quite as heavily armored as our Annihilator, so you know, we're seeing those bars drop a little bit quicker. And now I think the right play, probably, let's move the Zeus back. Let's see if he can still have a good facing, but try to get him to be the Battlemaster's, no, overlooked by the Battlemaster rather, and come in again at this Archer. Large lasers, snub PPC, and that SRM-6. Structure exposed, sensors impaired, and a knock, which is very nice. So now that we have that knock, I think our Highlander might be able to potentially take that mech out of commission. So let's come up here, let's see if we can fire in with everything, and I'm curious. Okay, so the CT is exposed. I'd rather go for the Battlemaster in salvage. Well, no, I went for all money, so we won't actually be getting any Battlemaster salvage unless we get really lucky here. But let's take that Archer out, that mech's down, and now we just have the one Battlemaster left. And this is what you like to see, you know, because in our last mission, before we had Cold Shot Mastery and things like that, and before we got that Zeus online, we were still kind of struggling with missions of this rating. And now we're not. We're able to take out a couple assault mechs relatively easily without any internal structure damage or things like that coming in on the Lance, and that's a big improvement even from where we were at Artru not too long ago, and the SLDF Highlander doubtless has something to do with that. So we do head cap that last mech with the Gauss rifle coming in from that Marauder, and I just wish it had more ballistic shots. I would move the other Gauss rifles from that SLDF Highlander to the Marauder in a heartbeat. So fantastic work, Commander, says Darius, and we'll be right back with the mission reward screen.
Mission successful.
Okay, so here we are, and I was wrong. I actually took it for half commission and half salvage, so 543,000 as a reward. Nothing really that needs to be done to any of our mainline mechs. And we are able to take, looks like, yeah, so we can take 2 of these Battlemaster pieces. Let's do a quick scan, make sure there's not anything we're missing. LRM 15, +1 stability, not bad, but we have better. Ooh, okay. +3 accuracy, +10 damage. This is really nice. Although not quite as good as the large laser with +10 damage, I think. 12 heat on the mediums versus 18 on the large. Does make the large slightly better if you have the weight for it, in my opinion. But, you know, that's the drawback, is the weight more than anything else. And, yeah, let's take the 2 Battlemaster parts. Maybe we'll get lucky and pick up a third here. And we actually pick up a third and a fourth. So we have a Battlemaster. And between episodes, I might take a look. We might trade the Zeus for this Battlemaster if I like the hardpoints better. But I kind of doubt it because, you know, 0 ballistic hardpoints and my love for autocannons, well, that kind of clashes just a bit. So thank you all for sticking around. If you like this, please don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll be back real soon with the next episode.